Well, yeah, Canada is bad news. If you had to compare it and say who's the worst, it'd be hard pressed. The Victoria, Canada, there's a few other candidates there, but yeah, bad news. Very hostile, very secular state, really clamping down on Christians. Of course, we could go on another whole tangent. Yeah, I wonder if they'd ever do that with Muslims, but that's another issue. The truth is, it's open season on Christians, and it's getting worse by the day, whether it's through legislation or social pressure. And again, the whole Rona thing we could bring in here if we wanted. Um, as I say, I've written over 100 articles on this since last March. One of the first pieces I did, I wrote, I don't know if I was being prophetic, I simply knew history. I said, look, what the state always loves is a crisis. Mm-hmm. You can get a crisis, either exploit a crisis, or if you have to, manufacture, create a crisis. Doesn't matter. Make up a crisis, exploit it to the max, do fear-mongering, panic porn, send the sheeple into hysteria. Oh, we got to do something. We're all going to die, right? Chicken Little. So you can get away with anything. The government can take away all your freedoms, all your rights, lock you in your home 23 hours a day, let you go 5Ks only, as if the Rona is, it's bad news at 5Ks, 6Ks, it's okay, 24 hours, that's no good, they're making this up as they go along. But the point is that the masses are so afraid and so buying into the panic porn, they're accepting it. It's not as if the governments are these big evil people doing these horrible things. They keep getting voted back in. Dan Andrews gets voted back in. Palaszczuk gets voted back in. McGowan gets voted back in, right? The people love it this way. I think there's a verse in Jeremiah about that. It's the perfect storm. The government will take a crisis, exploit it to the max. The people say, oh, thank you. We're so grateful. You're keeping us safe. We will do anything as long as you keep us safe. So, you can see where all this is heading. So whether it's the militant homosexual lobby, the pro-death lobby, the new trans moon battery, the climate change cultists, you could call them, the critical race theory. I mean, it all springs really from the same forebears. You can go back to Marx and cultural Marxism, neo-Marxism, the Frankfurt School, right? You got the whole line, and it all is one big happy family. So what Marx wanted to do by guns and tanks and force of arms, well, it's now being done in the institutions, right? Target the culture, forget about economics. That didn't quite work. Marx predicted the workers would spontaneously rise up in revolution. Never happened, partly because capitalism was such a good thing. The workers were doing better under the free market. Instead of being the lower class, they were becoming middle class. They were getting upper class. So Marx's whole theory was wrong, but they didn't stop there. Marcuse and Gramsci and the others, okay, change the focus from economics to culture. Do the same thing. Agitate get everybody upset and discontent. That's what's called critical theory. Let's criticize everything. Try to pinpoint the faults of everything. And it's, of course, the West. White male Westerners, we're the bad guys. Find out everything is, systemic racism, sexism, you name it. Intersectionality is just piling one source of oppression upon another. So they're doing the same thing Marx and Lenin wanted to do, and probably being much more successful with evolution from within instead of revolution from without. But for not just Christians, but anybody who A, values freedom, B, values a bit of difference of thought, and C, is concerned about the rise of statism, these are really scary times. Just, wherever I look, I'm thinking, wow, this is madness. So I'm doing my bit to sound the alarm. Why do I have 5,500 articles on my website? I got nothing better to do. Well, I'm worried about my kids. I'm worried about my culture. And if some people can heed the alarm or, wake up a bit and share it with others, well, I'm doing a little bit, but we all need to speak out a whole lot more before we lose it all.